Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, ready for Luka the Don's debut, man. Welcome to the Lakers, Luka. Definitely want to send good energy to him. He sent $500,000 to the relief efforts for the fire. So we really appreciate him coming in, understanding the tone here for what LA is kind of doing and dealing with right now. We're in the presence of a very, very long road to recovery for our city. A lot of our people are homeless right now, who had their homes for years, man, years and years and years. People lost their homes. So, he said he's committed to helping rebuild, places for children to play. He feels like every child should have an opportunity to have a safe place and a clean place to play. So I really appreciate his efforts in that regard, and everyone else's as well, as we continue to need support for the people who've lost a lot, man. So definitely good energy there, and appreciation. So yeah, welcome Luka the Don, man. I wish we were bringing Mark Williams on. Glad we got Dalton Connect back. I am interested in seeing how Luka is going to use Dalton. I think Dalton will have a better second half of the season, just off of the strength of having another facilitator looking for him, drawing attention away from him to get open looks and good opportunities. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. I think that when you have a guy like Luka on the team, with all due respect to LeBron and Austin, you're going to draw a different type of attention around the perimeter. It's going to create more space. You respect Bron from behind the arc, but not like you're going to respect Luka. You know what I mean? So given the fact that you have to double LeBron and Luka, we're used to our starting lineup having Max Christie in it. Max don't demand the double team or triple team. Now you replace Max essentially in that starting lineup with Luka Doncic, who's going to demand a double team, triple team. So this creates a lot more space for guys like Rui Hachimura and Austin and Bron, and of course Dalton and anybody else that's in that lineup to operate. More space to do their thing and lesser defenses. I think that's going to be another situation that is very positive for this team. Austin Reeves just got triple teamed essentially in the Indy game. He was getting some of the best defenses that are coming anybody's way in that particular game, and he went for 45. What does it look like when that third best guy is guarding him? Or people are guarding off of him because they have to pay so much attention to Luka and LeBron? Like, it becomes a situation where you see him having more opportunity to do what he does, even though it's going to be under a lesser usage rate. His looks are going to get easier. His driving lane should be more open, because you can't play off Luka like that, So I just think Austin's job is about to get significantly easier. And one of the things that frustrated me is watching Austin work so hard, trying to get to the line, jacking a lot of shots and stuff like that. It's going to be incumbent upon him to defer to Luka in some of those possessions, but the quality of his possessions should essentially be much easier, because he ain't going to have some of the best defensive players on him a lot of the time. They're going to have to focus on Luka and Bron. So I think his job is about to get a lot easier. Rui's job about to get a lot easier. And Jackson Hayes is going to be utilized in ways that he never has before. I wouldn't be surprised if he averages about 10 points under Luka Doncic in this starting lineup over the next several months, as the lob threat that he provides is essential to what Luka does in creating opportunities for himself to score and make plays. The lob threat is damn near half of what he does. So when you consider that, one of the most important lob threats on our team right now is Jackson Hayes. So I'm extremely excited about the overall growth Jackson Hayes is about to experience being in this lineup with Luka Doncic. So I'm excited about that. I think now it's going to be incumbent upon the Lakers to just try to make sure that they just try to win. It's more so about what you do in the offseason to try to bring him the pieces that he needs, and hopefully he'll be inclined to resign. A lot of it has to do with how chemistry goes right now, but I don't think Luka necessarily wants to keep jumping teams. He's too great of a player to even have to do that once. So now that he's in a new place, he knows we value him. Could he potentially move on? Yeah, sure. What's loyalty to a guy who experiences what he just experienced? I wouldn't be surprised if he wants a no trade clause at this point based on what he just experienced. And he probably should be granted that if he wants it, to be honest with you. He's one of the few players that deserve that in this league. So I don't like no trade clauses, but it's not like I'm looking to ever trade Luka any dang way. I'm not Dallas. I don't think anybody in our organization is going to think that way about him and his talent level. So we hope he retires in this uniform. I can tell you that right now. We already want him to do that. And I hope that happens. And so that's where my head is. I just want Luka to feel at home. I think that, you know, what he's just went through, it'll be okay that he's not feeling like he's at home yet. But everybody who puts on that Laker uniform understands what it means to do so. And if you get a chance to win a championship here, you're remembered. You're remembered forever, man. It's not the same thing as Dallas. Dallas means something's personal to him. We're not trying to replace Dallas, but we are giving him a new place to play. You know what I mean? A new place to call home. And I think he's going to like it here long term. And this thing is going to be his as soon as LeBron James calls it a career. Whenever he decides to do that, Luka's going to have the opportunity to really put on this uniform and it'd be just simply his. And maybe it's better with Bron, to be honest with you. I think it could be better with Bron. But, you know, at the same time, he's used to having the team to himself. And I think that either way, he's going to thrive, so long as he has the right stuff around him. So I can't think of too many people more worthy of putting on the purple and gold and being the franchise player in this era. And I'm happy he's here, man. I'm very happy he's here. I'm sorry Anthony Davis had to go. I find no peace in understanding that Anthony Davis went down with an injury that's going to keep him out for about a month or more. I saw the doctor's assessment of what he thinks may have happened. I think his name is Sutterer, I believe it is. I talked about him, refer to him a lot when we consider who's on YouTube telling us about these injuries and what potentially takes place right after they happen. He's the best that I've seen at that. And he essentially said that he thinks it's a very serious injury. This may even require surgery for Anthony Davis. So there's going to be a lot of people who look at this and say, well, I mean, Lakers got out of there right on time. That is the reality of it, but I'm not pleased with Anthony Davis going down. You know what I mean? That's not something I'm sitting here saying, whew, thank God it didn't happen to us. Like, it did. You know what I mean? Anthony Davis is one of ours. He may not be playing for our team, but this guy won a championship for us. He carried us for the last 6 years. I'm not of the mindset that this is just something the Lakers ducked. I think this was very favorable as it pertains to us not having to forego an opportunity to play in the playoffs at a high level because we have made this trade. I think that that's something we can thank the basketball gods for, so to speak. That LeBron's season is still alive, because if Anthony Davis went down with this injury on our watch, it pretty much ends this season for LeBron. I don't think LeBron deserves that, nor do we, nor does AD. And in this situation, unfortunately for AD, he has to go through this. But fortunately for us, we don't. But that doesn't make it any easier for us to see AD, who just 3 weeks ago was one of the most important players for our basketball team, and maybe the most productive player on our basketball team, go down. You know what I mean? I ain't happy about that at all. I'm not saying ha 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 to the owners either. In fact, I'm kind of pissed off. If this is karma, it has to fall on Anthony Davis' heads to pay the owners back for what they said about Luka Doncic. I don't think AD deserves that either, to be honest with you. He shouldn't have to pull his groin so that karma comes their way. So I'm not really claiming that. But what I can say is the owner should not have said the things that he said about Luka Doncic. Hey, what's up, fellas? Hey. I don't think he should. Because at the end of the day, Luka Doncic is a very, very willing to play through injury type of superstar. We saw the blood on his knee during the playoffs. We saw how he was laboring during the finals, even though people got on his case about how his defensive performance wasn't any good. It's because he was playing hurt. And so for you to have a guy who's playing hurt on your team, regardless of why you think he may be prone to injury and him taking care of himself or not, it's not like he ever cheated you guys out of opportunities to see him play through pain. And God puts his body on the line like that. You don't acknowledge that when he leaves. It's not bad enough that you trade him like a thief in the night away from the only place he's ever played in America. But you got to kick him on his way out the door like he did something to you. I just think that this is This is not good, and you consider this is a new owner who's saying all of this. You just came in a year ago. You know, these people have been connected to Luka Doncic for 5 years. You come in a year ago, decide that you don't like what you see in Luka year 4, and trade him away year 5 or year 6, whatever this is, as if you understand and behold what these fans are going through when you trade them away. You know, they watched him grow from 20-year-old kid, pass the torch from Dirk Nowitzki onto Luka, only for a new owner to come in and trade him away after a year and insult him on the way out the door. Now, what type of business is that? You know, and a lot of people are saying, oh, he's tone deaf in the sense that he's also in referring to why he thinks Luka shouldn't be a Dallas Maverick. He was essentially saying that, you know, Michael, Larry, Shaq, and Kobe always worked hard, took care of their bodies, and excellence to the top. It's like, man, listen, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Larry, and Michael all had things that they had to work through when they were 25 years old. And some grow-up moments, you know what I mean? And it wasn't just about them coming in, finished products, and then giving us their everything. Like, Kobe was an exception to that. He was obsessive about his work ethic. He was obsessive about bettering himself. That's not something everybody has. And to say a guy who's averaging 34, 7, and 7, dragging your team to the finals on a bum body, so to speak, dealing with injuries, doesn't go hard because he don't remind you of 4 other guys. You know what I mean? It's like, that's pretty damn ridiculous, to be honest with you. Not to say that I don't respect the work ethic of those gentlemen. We know how Shaq moved. I mean, he would eat sandwiches and get on the court and still perform, but it cut his career short, if you ask me. That's why he didn't stay a Laker, so he's probably not the greatest example. But I still respected his work ethic when it came to getting on that court and playing hard and dragging my team. Like, whatever the case may be, I think Luka Doncic is amongst those people. He's trying to cement himself as one of those players. And for this owner to come in a year removed from not being an owner at all, trade the man in the middle of the night while he's asleep, 25 years old. And then when the trade is complete and he's getting all the backlash from his own fans about how unhappy and how heartbroken they are about him doing this, he comes out and releases a statement essentially saying that Luka shouldn't be a Maverick because he didn't work hard enough. Like, that's awful, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, that's awful. That's awful. And for me, he does a terrible job representing being in touch with the people. You know, it's already a great disconnect between governors and players just from a class perspective. Not players, but fans from a class perspective. We think these people aren't in touch with us any dang way. You know what I mean? He makes all of his peers in his class look bad when he speaks this way. When people are hurting about something that he did and trading their favorite player away, it doesn't speak to him being a decent guy, to be honest with you. It really doesn't. It doesn't. And if I'm a star on that team, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, I don't know if I really want to play for this guy. If I'm being honest with you. So it's just a dang shame that Dallas Mavericks fans got to go through this. I grew up an NBA fan when the Dallas Mavericks were not a very popular basketball club. They had a strong fan base the whole time, and they played hard. But they didn't have no great player until Jason Kidd came around. Dirk Nowitzki came around. Steve Nash came around. That was when their team really got on the map. Before that, they were a pretty bad team. So it's like, for, respect to Michael Finley and Rolando Blackman. Like, I remember those guys. But, like, they weren't on some magical Mavericks team. They've been waiting for something like this to come along. And then just the whole process of Dirk Nowitzki being from Germany, playing a million years with them, only team he ever played for, getting the championship, Hall of Fame statue. Passed the torch to Luka the Don from Slovenia. Looks like he's on the path to doing the same thing, maybe even greater than Dirk. And you got some new owner come in and just trade him away over. Like, you messed up the whole storyline. You messed up the whole mystique of your franchise. Just because you didn't like how this guy operated, because you didn't want to see him every day for whatever reason. Like, I just think that this is just bad all the way around. They messed up history with that. And granted, I, as a Laker fan, love that it favored me, but I mean, we remove ourselves from it. He could have went to any team. This is bad either way. You know what I'm saying? He could have went to the Rockets, the Celtics, the Spurs. It doesn't matter. He was moved on from the spot that he was supposed to be at for the rest of his career, with a storyline that fit the culture of what the Mavericks had built. And I'm just sitting here as a fan of the Lakers, like, I love having Luka here, but this is messing up the whole story for his career, man. Especially if he doesn't come here and win. Now it's like, oh, he got traded away. He went to the Lakers. He could be the greatest player he could be in the world. He ain't gonna be the greatest Laker, because that's already cemented so thick that it's impossible to be that. But that wasn't the trajectory for his Dallas career. So it's just like, man, I'm so happy Luka's here. I want him to feel at home. And I want him to know that we feel for him in regards to what it is he's going through as it pertains to them messing up his career with these new ownerships. Just simply coming in not wanting to pay the money and want to justify it by blaming him. When we know, just like everyone else in the sports sphere knows, if this man earned the money that he was supposed to be getting from them, the $330, whatever it is, they don't want to pay it. And they need to be able to justify that to a bunch of mad and angry and hurt feelings fans. And this was their solution, was to bash the guy and try to double down on the fact that they have standards and he didn't meet them. As if he hasn't been the best player that they've had. As if he didn't just lead them to the finals less than a year ago. So, it's disrespectful, it's tone deaf. He didn't deserve it. And it's weird when you consider how he performed against the Atlanta Hawks, scoring 73 points on the Atlanta Hawks, or 72 points, when they drafted him and traded him away. Like, you're gonna do that to him? This is the person you want to do that to? Okay. I don't get it. I don't agree with it. It's gonna be a storyline that we never quite forget. But it landed us our next great superstar. And I truly hope he takes pride in that and sticks around and cements himself as one of the greats in this uniform, because this organization has always had great players, and that hasn't slowed down too often. And we have a whole lot of pride and a whole lot of love for our team here in Los Angeles, and we've gone through a lot in both celebratory ways and tragic ways, as a city, as a team, as a fan base. And you know, when it comes to the city, what we've been through with the fires, Kobe, Nipsey, even dating all the way back to other circumstances that date back far before what we're talking about. The city has been through a lot. You know, the building that Luka's playing in, we had some of the most prominent people's funerals there. Michael Jackson, Kobe Bryant, Nipsey Hussle. Like, these are some... We have a lot of history in that building. Championships for both the Lakers, the Sparks, the Kings. Like, there's a lot that comes into walking into that building. It's not just a building. Some big things have happened in that building. And I just want Luka to understand that we expect that he's going to, with his natural God-given talent, do some of the great things going forward to keep that torch alive. He may have had to lose out on a great story with the Dallas Mavericks, but his career is taking its turn for the better if he can cement himself as a great Laker. And there's nothing in his game that tells me that's not going to happen. Nothing in his game shows me that he can't be a great Laker. And so that's what I want to say, man. I think this could be the beginning of something special if he buys into it. We're a city with a lot of pride. Loyalty isn't found too much in this business, but you're going to find a hell of a lot of loyalty in this city. And he's going to understand that he's in a special place. He may have left a special place with special fans, but he came to a special place with special fans. and we're gonna make him feel at home. He's gonna have to get used to our energy. We're not the same crowd, you know. Listening to some of those crowds that he was dealing with in Dallas, they, you know, really were loud every play. And he's going to have to get used to kind of the laissez-faire spirit of this Laker crowd, because a lot of those people there don't make up the people that actually love this team passionately. Those are the people who can afford to go to those games, and a lot of them go there to be seen with respect. They ain't really there to see the team per se, but more so to be seen. And so he may not see the crowd be as rabid about him as he's seen in Dallas, and I hope that doesn't push him away. But what he's going to understand is when he goes out into the city, in the field, and when he goes around the world wearing that uniform, he's going to find out that the heart of what is truly behind him is far greater in numbers than what he's experienced as a Maverick. You got far more people behind you who, if you could probably fill up 7 or 8 stadiums around the world in regards to Laker fans. So don't be frustrated with the crowd who may not be as loud in the building, because if they filled up the building with all of their fans, they'd be pouring outside all the way down the street and around the block and further into the city. So there's a lot of us behind you. You may not hear us, but we here, and we waiting for you to bring us another championship, and we believe you can do it. We challenging you to do it, just like we challenged LeBron and AD and they pulled it off. LeBron already pulled it off, but you got, you know, Luka, it's your time now, bro. We want you to win that, you know, and we know you can do it. So that's really what it comes down to, bro. I just want him to feel welcome. Welcome to LA, man. We're sensitive to your circumstance. We appreciate your charitable efforts. We know you're willing to do more, and you got a home here, bro. Before you even put on the uniform, you already know you got a home here. That's what I'm here to say. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching.